Greetings, royal family, and welcome to another message by the Honorable Yahweh Beit Nun Sophie Yahweh. Now, royal family, this message was taught many years ago by the Honorable Yahweh and is being presented to you today by Yahweh's royal priesthood. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Visit us at Yahweh's royal priesthood, www.yahweh144000.com. And also, royal family, join us at the University of Yahweh, where classes are designed for the Godhead. Visit us at www.universityofyahweh.org. Also, royal family, listen to our weekly podcasts by the University of Yahweh, found on most podcast platforms. We look forward to you being there as well. Enjoy, royal family.
So let us look at Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 1. Here we read, "Now it has come to pass that the heavens are opened, and I have visions of Yahweh for you." And in verse 3, "The word of the Lord Yahweh has come expressly unto me, and the hand of the Lord Yahweh is upon me to teach you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I am teaching you." Now we want to go to Zechariah chapter 7, verse 12, where it says, "Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law. And the words which the Lord Yahweh of hosts hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts Yahweh." Now what this is describing what's going on with the dry bones. The attitude, the mental and spiritual attitude of the dry bones here in America that I am dealing with. It says that your minds, the minds of our people, are adamant as stone. I mean, they're stony hearted. They love falsehood. Our people love the dark side. This is why you were taught to write from your left to the right. Is you start off wrong. You start off in the opposite direction of what you should go. Your very thought pattern is in opposition to Yahweh. It's just automatic. Everything you start off doing is in that manner because you start off on the wrong side, the opposite side of Yahweh. That's why it's called the wrong side, simply because it's the opposite of what Yahweh has decreed for us. He decreed that we start at the right side. That's why Yahweh's name is beginning with Yud-Hey, Wah-Hey, is from the right to the left. And yet our people's minds are as stone. And why? Why have you been made like this by your enemy? It's because if you were not like this, you would hear the word of the law. You would hear the law of Yahweh. But since you start off writing from the left to the right, and all of your thoughts are in the opposite way, then you find it extremely difficult as a people to hear the laws of Yahweh or hear the words which he has even said by his former prophets. That's why your forefathers had so much trouble. Is for the same reason, is that in listening to Lucifer's philosophy, it's the opposite of what Yahweh teaches us. So his words were rejected even by former prophets. Therefore, a great wrath has come upon you as a people. And of course, we have been programmed to think that maybe this is coming from the white man. And instead of realizing that we are being punished by Yahweh because we refuse to hear his words. All the suffering of the so-called black men in America, this suffering is because we have refused to hear the words of Yahweh. So now let us turn to Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 14. So the Spirit lifted me up. See, I've been lifted up by the Spirit of Yahweh. And I am high-minded. That's why I'm able to teach you how to be high-minded. And that's what I'm doing this entire feast, teaching you how to be great, like Yahweh is great. And the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh has taken me away from what is going on in this land. Yet I have gone away in bitterness, looking at the condition, the mental and spiritual condition of our people. It certainly makes me bitter, and certainly I'm angry with the wicked every day, as written in the scriptures. In the heat of my spirit, I am certainly feeling a bitterness. But the hand of the Lord Yahweh is strong upon me. And you certainly get that witness by what I teach you. I come to you in perfection. I'm teaching you to be perfect and to walk the perfect path and give you a perfect moral teachings which will lift you from the bottom to the top. Now turn to 2 Kings chapter 3, verse 15. But now bring me a minstrel. And it came to pass, when the minstrel played, the hand of the Lord Yahweh came upon him. So here I am playing the musical words of Yahweh before you, and they are really like an orchestra or a beautiful melody for those who find the word. That's why it is written, and when thy words were found, they were a joy and a rejoicing to my heart, as you found in Jeremiah 15:16. Now let us turn to Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 2. And it says, and caused me to pass by the dry bones round about, and behold, there were many, very many, in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. Now that tells us our mental and spiritual condition in this country. Very, very dry. That means so dead that it's beyond belief. It's like something being petrified. Let us turn to Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 3 now, which says, and Yahweh said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? Now that's a question. When you look at the so-called black men in America now, you have to ask that question. When you look at the way we carry ourselves in such a base manner, as I mentioned in last night's class, we are just the opposite of high-mindedness. We are absolutely base-minded in all we do as a people. And that's what I'm experiencing in coming to reach you. So my father asked me the question, can they live? And truthfully, in looking at us and listening to us, you sometimes wonder, I do, can they? I know they're going to, because I'm here to cause you to live. But it's still looking at our people here in prison, and some stopped and asked could they walk with me and my sons out here in prison today. Of course I allowed them to, because my message is open to them. But it certainly is not for that type of mindset. But yet, you could just see the destruction and how they are walking in total darkness. So I had to answer the question by saying, surely only you know Yahweh. Only you know Yahweh. It's going to take a miracle. And of course, that's what I'm here to work, is a miracle. Now, let us turn to John, St. John, chapter 5, verse 21. St. John, chapter 5, verse 21. For as the Father raises up the dead and quickeneth them, even so the Son quickeneth whom he will. So this term quickeneth means bring back to life. See, whoever Yahweh wants to bring back to life, that's what he does. So he chose to bring me back to life. And I'm able to bring you back to life because this has been my direct experience. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 9. And it says, "But we have the sentence of death in ourselves, that we should not trust in ourselves, but in Yahweh, which raises the dead." And in verse 10, "Who, being Yahweh, delivered us from so great a death, and does deliver, in whom we trust, that he will yet deliver us here in the hells of North America." Being under the sentence of death, I've already carried you through that on the first night of our class. Now let us turn to 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. "The Lord Yahweh knows how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished." That's what we're living in now. That's why I told you earlier that the theme of this class is, "Now is the judgment of this world, and the prince of this world shall be cast out," in St. John chapter 12, verse 31. Now here in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, I'm letting you know clearly, I know how to deliver the godly out of temptation. Who are the godly? Yeah. The godly are those who are attracted to righteousness. The ungodly are those who are not attracted to righteousness. The godly are those who are attracted to the light. The ungodly are those whose deeds are so evil that they run for darkness. And though I bring you high-minded wisdom that will make you adroit and clever, the low-minded will simply reject it. And it's such a comfort to know that the unjust people, the wicked people, are reserved to this day of judgment to be punished. And I think if you look out at the news and realize that today 50 cities are under snow, not 50 cities have been snowed in, but 50 cities are under snow today. And 9 states are on fire at this very hour. 9 states on fire. And there are many ice storms in many different locations around this country. In Job chapter 21, verse 30 says that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. So these scriptures all confirm that this is indeed the day of judgment, where the wicked are being reserved for destruction. We saw President Bush standing in front of his house, inside his house, in Kennebunkport, saying the sea won this one. I have news for him. Yahweh wins all of his. Yahweh has never lost his. But what we see is Pharaoh of the land is in deep trouble with the one who is using nature to retaliate. He had a home worth over several $1 million, more than $2 million. And all the contents of the first floor has been completely washed out to sea. And the house is warped. The whole house is warped. And he and Barbara were standing up there moaning and groaning from the wrath of Yahweh. The economy is gone to pot. And in all the pestilences and wrath of Egypt, when we were delivered, is just being wiped out and destroyed. And so this is indeed the day of the wrath of Yahweh, the day of judgment. Let us go to Psalm chapter 34, verse 17. It says, "The righteous cry, and the Lord Yahweh heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles." Do you understand? All you have to do to be heard from Yahweh is be righteous. I'm teaching righteousness. So that when you cry to Yahweh, whatever you're crying for, if you're crying for my deliverance or my release, then understand that Yahweh is hearing you. Yahweh is hearing you, and he's going to deliver me and you out of all of our trouble. That's how wonderful and mighty Yahweh is. In the meantime, he's after our enemy in a big, big way. Now, let us go to Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 4. And it says, again, Yahweh said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, the so-called black people of America, and say unto them, O you dry bones, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. That means you're going to have to go through a change to start hearing as a people, because in times past, you refused to hear. And your thoughts were backwards and base. But I thank Yahweh for one thing. You that are under the sound of my voice are beginning to hear the words of the Lord Yahweh. And it's making a difference in your life, it's making a difference in your home, it's making a difference in the community and this country. Oh yes, everybody now has heard the name Yahweh. We are guaranteed that Washington, D.C., the leaders of this country, Pharaoh, has heard the name Yahweh. He may not remember your faces who went and lobbied the halls of Congress, but he remembers Yahweh. That's for sure. Now let us look at Ezekiel 37, verse 5. Ezekiel 37, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord God Yahweh unto these bones. That's who's talking to you. Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. See, it's beautiful to learn that the name Yahweh means causer. One, and that's not all that it means, but one of the meanings of the Tetragrammaton is the one who causes all things. See, he's just a plain causer, no matter what that is. And when we look at that reality, then the fact that Yahweh can cause the sun, the moon, and the stars to come into existence. It says the son of Yahweh did all of these things. So you are listening to the one who has created all things. John chapter 1 verse 3 lets you know I created all things. By me all things exist. Then I'm able, through my record of accomplishment, certainly to cause breath to enter into you. Now, let us go to Psalms chapter 104 again, verse 1. The book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 1. This is the theme that I've been using all this week thus far. Bless the Lord Yahweh, O my soul. O Lord Yahweh, my God. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. And I've been causing you to learn that the attributes and characteristics of Yahweh is our inheritance. This mindset belongs to you. So as I teach you his characteristics, you are not only to simply say them or memorize them, but to in fact become those characteristics. Live them as an integral part of your very nature. Now let's look at verse 30 of Psalms 104. And it says, Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. I'm here. If I can renew the face of the earth, since I have the power to renew the face of the earth, then you know I have the power to renew your face. And earth also means people. But these are bound type people, and I can renew your face in the earth. It calls you to be useful in your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and quick of wit. Now, let us go to Job chapter 33, verse 4. The spirit of Yahweh has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. Isn't that beautiful to see? The spirit of Yahweh has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. So I'm breathing that breath upon you, which will give you life. I'm the one that's making you over. That is saying, I am your maker. You were made in the image of the prince of this world, who is an opponent of Yahweh. The prince of this world is the seed of Lucifer. You were made in his image until I come into your life. Now, that I am coming with a perfect moral message from Yahweh. I am now making you in our image, the image of Yahweh and his son Yahweh ben Yahweh. When you read in Genesis, let us make man, that's who's talking. My Father and I are talking. We're the ones who decided that we would make you in our image. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Now, we're going to go to Ezekiel 37, verse 9. Ezekiel 37, verse 9. Then said Yahweh unto me, prophesy unto the wind. Prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. By now you know these four winds are television, radio, newspapers, books, magazines, the publications, telephone, fax, all those modern technology that you're working with, even movies. In fact, some movie parts are being included with my name, and what has happened in my arrest here in Miami or in New Orleans is going into a movie now. It was in the Miami Herald, the living section, and I was quite shocked because it wasn't negatively portrayed. Now, let us go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heavens and the earth. Or, better yet, in the beginning, Yahweh ben Yahweh created the heavens and the earth. That's the reality. Now, let us turn to John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, Yahweh is the creator of all things. Genesis chapter 1 is followed by St. John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was Yahweh. So I am that Word. Verse 2. All things were made by him. See, the same was in the beginning with Yahweh. In verse 3, all things are made by Yahweh, Bet Nun Yahweh. That's the reality. All things. Now let us go to verse 14. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, Yahweh, full of grace and truth. That's what you're hearing tonight. And understanding that you have the one with you who is the causer. Understanding you have the one with you who is from the beginning, the Word. Understanding you have the one with you who was with Yahweh from the beginning. And then to understand that I am with you to cause you to come from poverty to riches. You can understand by the record of things that I have done from Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, 2, and 3, or John chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. These scriptures are letting you know that I have the power to do all things necessary for you to come to power and rulership and rule this earth forever, and to maintain heaven on this earth forever. I have the power to cause you to become the son of Yahweh in John chapter 1, verse 12. Now, let us go to Hebrews chapter 1, verse 10. And thou, Lord Yahweh, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of thine hands. Praise Yahweh. So, here again, you are learning my work, the work of Yahweh from the beginning. I laid the foundations of the earth. The heavens are the works of my hands. So since the heavens are the works of my hands, then I have the power to create heaven on earth forever, as you found in Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. I'm here to establish heaven in your mind and cause your mind to move from hell to heaven. Moving from poverty to riches is not just a monetary thing, but it's to cause a mindset to be reversed, to be overturned, to have your mind move from hell thoughts, hellacious thoughts, to heavenly thoughts. Isn't this beautiful to see? Now let us go to St. John chapter 17, verse 5. And now, O Father, Yahweh, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. This is what I'm asking of my Father now that I'm here in prison. I am asking the fulfillment of this scripture in my life as I am here with you on this earth now. So the glory of my Father, Yahweh, is coming upon me. When I ask for it, it's granted immediately. It's not something that I look to happen years from now, days or weeks from now. It happens instantly. So now that's happening. Now let us go to Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. That's how you're supposed to be before me, without blame and showing forth pure love. Now you have to understand that this proves that you are eternal beings if you keep the laws of Yahweh. I chose you. Every one of you, I have chosen you in myself before the foundation of this world. I laid the foundation of this world, but I chose you before I laid the foundation of this world. And that you should be holy. That means you have to go look up holy. Study the word holy. Because that's what I've chosen you to be. I've chosen you, according to Leviticus chapter 11, verse 44, to sanctify yourself and be also holy as Yahweh is holy. So you must be without blame before me in love, because I come to you in love. I didn't come to you because you were righteous. I come to you anyway since you were totally dead. It was for my name's sake that I am come. It is for my name's sake that I am here. It is for my name's sake that I choose to save you and redeem you and raise you high above all the nations upon this earth. It is for my name's sake that I show forth an eternal love for you that you can't buy. You can't buy it with money. Now, let us go to Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And it reads, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh, to them who are the called according to his purpose. You see, you are called according to my purpose to fulfill the purposes of Yahweh. You don't have any other reason for existing on the planet. I chose to call you before I laid the foundation of the earth. I chose you then to do a work with me here now. And if you do it and make all of the sacrifices necessary, instead of trying to be of this world, instead of trying to make your mark in and of this world, just remember, all of you that forsake houses and family and wealth or whatever you forsake, it doesn't mean you won't be rich, but it means forsake it, that you don't worship it. As long as it's in the hands of the enemy of Yahweh, I will bless you 100-fold. I will cause you to have 100 times more than you can ever get at your best. At the best and the height of what you get, I'm here to give you 100 times that. But I have chosen you, as you can read here, for a purpose. And it's my purpose that I have chosen you. So this is something that you can know, that all things, what I'm going through, what you're going through, the sacrifices that you are making to crave for me, then it's all going to work together for good because you love Yahweh. See, you are proving your love for me. You have to. I've already proven my love for you simply by coming to you and you didn't know me. I've proven my love for you when you didn't call for me or send for me. I've come anyway. And I'm giving you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is life eternal. And by giving you the opportunity to receive me, believe on me, receive my name, accept my name. And this gives you life eternal, automatic. See, you are now down to the judgment day. And all people that are on the planet have the choice now to choose me or reject me. Those that choose life forever, eternally. And don't you know the reality exists that since I chose you before I laid the foundation of the world and I have you here with me now, that I can give you life eternal? The fact that I chose this body 56 years ago is irrelevant. The fact is, I prophesied in the day that I was with Abraham in Genesis chapter 15, verse 13, that I would come and be with you now and judge this nation who has afflicted you these 436 years. I said that I would do that, and here I am. You were brought here in the year 1555. You've been here 436 years. I'm here right on time. As I promised Abraham I would come, because you would be afflicted here in such a bad condition you would never recover. So it's such a joy to see that you can now know that all things are working together for good to every one of you that love Yahweh, and to you that are called according to my purposes. Isn't this a joy to learn? This is the mysteries of Ezekiel chapter 37, the dry bones. And for the first time in 12 years, I'm giving you a deep understanding of this mystery. Let's look at Romans chapter 9, verse 11, and then we're going to go to verses 23 and 24 also. First, Romans chapter 9, verse 11. Now, let us read. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. You understand this? See, all that is going on and taking place in your life and on the planet is of me that's calling you. For the children that are not yet born, that doesn't necessarily mean the one that's in the womb. That's not the one that you may be pregnant with. We're talking about the ones who have not been born again. And even you, who think you've been born again, are still in the process of being born again. Because there's so much of the word that's still a mystery to you. You're still in darkness as understanding. I'm unfolding mysteries to you now. You never knew that this particular Romans chapter 9, verse 11 applied to Ezekiel chapter 37 in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Yet it does. And I'm talking to the unborn, the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. In other words, that doesn't mean that evil is not presented to you or whatever, but that's an allegory and a euphemism that as a child who is unborn in the mother's womb has not done good or evil, this is the way that I am come with mercy and justice in my heart, not to charge you with being wicked and thus only for destruction. You see, if I came and held you accountable as strictly wicked, then you have to be of Lucifer and Cain's seed. But I come to you as if you were in the womb of your mother, unborn, having never done good or evil. Now, you know in the real world of your life, all you have done is evil. Your wisdom is only in doing evil. To do good, you have had no knowledge. So I put it in this manner, and it remains a mystery when someone has read it, that you would never think this applies to people who are walking around already born. In your juvenile kindergarten thinking, I know exactly how you think, because I come through the seed of Abraham, having been taught the same as you were taught. For me to come to you, and you're already born physically, having known nothing but evil, I come to you with such mercy that I act as if you have never been born. That's blotting out your sins, blotting out breaking the law. Isaiah chapter 44, verse 22 tells you that I blot out your sins. Now, again, I read that again. And that Yahweh bet noon, Yahweh might make known the riches of my glory. You see, my riches is different from a dollar or gold and silver. It's the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I am teaching you tonight, which I have alone prepared unto glory. Nobody else is helping me to prepare this for glory. What I'm teaching you, I'm doing it all alone. There's no other school, college, or university, professor, or teacher, or scholar that can take credit for what I'm teaching you tonight, or what I have been teaching you in the name of Yahweh for these last 12 years. I am absolutely alone, absolutely unique, absolutely peerless. No one can argue with that reality. Verse 24, even us, whom I have called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. What does this mean? This means that though I come to you as the lost sheep of the house of Israel first, it means first. I'm not come to you only, but I am come to the entire family. Because when we go back to Noah, we realize that after the flood, Genesis chapter 9, verses 18 and 19, we understand that all the people on the planet Earth have been populated from these three sons, Ham, Shem, and Jephthah. So that makes us one family, no matter what you've been taught by the enemy of Yahweh. Now, let us go further and look at 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 9, and let us read. Who hath saved us and called us with an holy calling, not according to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace, which was given us in Yahweh, Beit Nun Yahweh, before the world began. I prepared this for you before the world even began. That's how much I love you. And you have 6,000 years of history in the Bible of how you have broken the law and turned your backs on me. Now, let's go to verse 10. But is now made manifest by the appearing of our Savior, Yahweh, Beit Nun Yahweh, who has abolished death and has brought life and immortality to light through the gospel. So I'm bringing you life, immortality. I'm abolishing death in your life. Now, you died 6,000 years ago. You died in the garden when you listened to the philosophy of Lucifer. And I told you synoptically about the trial that took place. But you died then and have been dead until now. And no one could resurrect you but me. I know this should be shocking to you, but let's move on to the book of Romans, chapter 16, verse 25. Now, to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preachings of Yahweh, Beit Nun Yahweh, according to the revelations of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began. What I'm teaching you has been a secret since the world began. That's why no one could loose the seal. No one could break the mystery of this word to you but me, because I'm the one that set it down as a secret before the world began. Even before I put Adam to sleep, I laid this as a secret. You see? So, understand who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 2. I told you I'm taking you on a scriptural odyssey tonight, coming from Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 5. Remember, all of these scriptures and all of what I'm sharing with you is from Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 5. And remember also, I'm not going over this in great detail, all of these scriptures that I'm giving you, but I am giving you enough to highlight in your mind what is taking place in your process of gaining breath to live through this particular chapter and verse. Now we're going to look at 1 Peter 1 and 2. And it says, elect according to the foreknowledge of Yahweh, Yahweh, unto obedience, and sprinkling of the blood of Yahweh, Beit Nun Yahweh, grace unto you and peace be multiplied. So here, you are the elect, chosen before the foundation of the world, and it's with the foreknowledge of Yahweh that this is happening. I'm coming with the foreknowledge of all of this. Let me read this to you again. Elect according to the foreknowledge of Yahweh the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience. Now, this is what I'm doing, sanctifying your spirit unto obedience. We have missed the obedience. We have been disobedient children, so we're suffering the wrath of hell in the hells of North America under the hell keeper. And the one who loves to teach hell, that's all he does teach. In his public schools, it's hell. That's why you have the judgment of this world. The deception of this world in Revelation 12:9 is the fact that the enemy of Yahweh is teaching hell to everybody. Now let us go to Isaiah chapter 52, verse 15. I'm glad that I have taught you how to study, and you that know how to study, I'm sure you'll be going over these scriptures in great detail at the end of this feast. This scripture says, so shall he sprinkle many nations. The kings shall shut their mouths at him. For that which hath not been told them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider. Isn't that power? The kings of this earth have to shut their mouth at me. It seems like all those who've been writing negatively about me at my immediate arrest have shut their mouths because they are hearing things through the People for Truth applications that they've never heard. On the Poverty to Riches TV shows, they are seeing and hearing things that is causing them to consider that which they have never considered before. The national radio broadcast that so many of you have worked so hard and made a reality in your cities have caused them, the kings and the nations of the earth, to consider what they've never considered, thought of before. Romans chapter 15, verse 21. It's hard to believe that this class is about over. I do not have more than 6 minutes left. I'm trying to get through this completely if I can. Romans 15:21. I'll read it and try to give you less commentary. But as it is written, to whom he was not spoken of, they shall see, and they that have not heard shall understand. Isn't that wonderful? Let's go to Luke chapter 1, verse 73 through 75. And it says, the oath which he sware to our father Abraham, that he would grant unto us, that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him, Yahweh, without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. Genesis chapter 12, verse 3. Some of these scriptures speak well for themselves without my comment. Genesis chapter 12, verse 3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee, and in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. That's how beautiful you are to me. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 11 through 13. And it says, and we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful, lazy, put on tomorrow until another day, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. For when Yahweh made promises to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he sware by himself. So I swear by myself and not another. The last scripture I'm giving you tonight is Genesis chapter 22, verses 16 through 18. Genesis chapter 22, verses 16 through 18. And it says, and said, by myself have I sworn, saith the Lord Yahweh. For because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Now that is what I have for you that obey my voice. What a blessing. What a joy for me to share these scriptures with you. And you can tell that I will have to continue with the characteristics of Yahweh, your inheritance, as we deal with Psalm chapter 104 in greater detail along the lines that you definitely need to know, so you can write those words down, the characteristics of Yahweh, and study them, inculcate them, and live them. I'm very happy that you have learned how to pray to Yahweh. I'm sure that Yahweh will deliver and will grant your prayers and all that you're looking for and the hope that you have. It's been a great class. I've just had a wonderful time sharing with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon as you have learned how to pray and get your job done and understand that I'm here to give you heaven forever on this earth. And all the riches of the Gentiles that you seek are going to flow to you. I'm going to give all of it, all the wealth of this earth. I've laid it up for you. All the wealth that the wicked accomplish has been laid up just for you. So you can quit hustling after it now and do what you need to do. Show me that you love me. I'm from Missouri. Show me that you love me. I love you. It's such a pleasure. Yes, I have a big smile on my face because I just love you so much. As I speak to you from my tomb, as I speak to you from my grave, as I speak to you from my cross, as I'm being persecuted and slain for you, yet I'm joyous in the promise of Yahweh that I shall be resurrected on the third day through your love and your craving for me. I'm waiting to join you in Galilee. Shalom Aleichem. Ania Hos.